This is certainly not the way I wanted to start my day and start the news, and I had a lot of high hope that they were going to find that little boy, Dane Paulsen, in the Sillet's area. Well, as you guys can see here, as of as late as 5 hours ago, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger on the screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at. I'm going to be reading from KGW.com, so thank you for the article. 2-year-old Dane Paulsen was the little boy that was missing. They have found his body as of 5 hours ago. So thank you, whoever that was that called that out in the chat that asked about him. That was Gemini Moon. So I do want to give Gemini Moon a shout out. So let me read real quick here. This is as of 5 hours ago. Missing 2-year-old Dane Paulsen has been found dead in the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. They confirmed that on Tuesday afternoon, which is, of course, that's today, depending on when you're watching this. The toddler went missing from his home in Sillet's on March the 1st, quickly sparking an intense search effort that drew in hundreds of volunteers and continued for the past 10 days. As you guys know, we talked about that. We posted that video. Really just to try to get as many eyes on this story as possible. Even if it's just a few thousand, at least we did. The sheriff's office confirmed that Dane's body has been found in the Sillet's River at around 11:13 a.m. So that's actually even earlier, that maybe they didn't report it yet. And they found his body about 3 miles downstream from the family's home. Investigators with the sheriff's office are currently processing the scene, according to a news release at 2:07 p.m., and are working with the county medical examiner's office. Again, depending on when you're watching this, today is March the 11th. So they found his body at around 11 a.m. and reported him officially that they found his body around between 2 and 3 p.m. Now, the body was found by an independent diver, Juan Heredia of the Angels Recovery Dive Team. And I believe those are people who volunteer their services, if I'm not mistaken. We've heard of that before. Shout out to them. Hopefully you guys get a chance to watch this video, so shout out to them. But they volunteered their services and began searching areas downstream from where the sheriff's office divers had been operating, according to the news release. Dane was last seen around 4:30 p.m. on March the 1st, playing in his yard of the family's house, which is about 100 feet from the river.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Tragic ending to a 10-day search. The body of a young boy who went missing earlier this month near the Oregon coast has been found.
A 2-year-old Dane Paulsen was last seen playing in the yard of his home in Sillet's on March 1st. Now officials have confirmed that Dane was found dead in the Sillet's River earlier today. Fox 12's Michaela Armstrong has more on this heartbreaking discovery.
An extensive 10-day search for a missing toddler ends with a tragic conclusion. 2-year-old Dane Paulsen's body was found in the Sillet's River Tuesday, 3 miles downstream from his family home. California diver Juan Heredia of the nonprofit Angels Recovery Dive Team found Dane's body. He says he used photos of Dane and details from his mother about what he was wearing to spot him.
When I found him, I put him to the shore because he was around 6 feet deep, and just waiting for the sheriff, then the medical examiner to come, and I was cold, my wetsuit, and yeah, it was miserable there.
Heredia says he was offered money for recovering Dane's body, but said he couldn't take it.
I just wanted to help and bring closer to the family. Sorry, guys.
After the news surfaced, an outpouring of condolences and support for the family spread throughout Sillet's, and a small vigil was held in memory of Dane. This recovery was the 7th for the volunteer diver, but he says this one will have a profound effect on him.
I think every single one is heartbreaking, but it's a boy, 2 years, 3 years old, and it's just hard to believe.
The family is asking for space and time to grieve through this unimaginable tragedy. And Heredia says he understands their pain.
It's gonna be a new life. Their life's gonna change forever. You cannot bring any hope. They will have to learn how to live without him, but at the same time they will have to learn that they have to spend time every day talking to him.
In Siletz, Michaela Armstrong, Fox 12 Oregon.
This is breaking news.
That breaking news, a devastating end to a days-long search. Today, a diver discovered the body of 2-year-old Dane Paulsen in the Siletz River. Paulsen disappeared on March 1st. A diver found the toddler's body about 3 miles downstream from his home.
We are getting a lot of information, as you can well imagine, throughout the afternoon. And here's what we've learned so far. The diver who found Dane tells us he found him about 2.5 miles down the river from the Paulsen family home just after 11 o'clock this morning. And deputies identified the diver as Juan Heredia with Angels Recovery Dive Team. And according to the sheriff's office, a local river guide escorted the diver onto the river. He began searching areas of the Siletz River downstream from where the sheriff's office divers had already thoroughly combed. Now sheriff's office investigators are at the scene. We know the family has been identified. Lincoln County Sheriff Adam Shanks released a statement saying, quote, "Our thoughts are with the family who are facing an unbearable sorrow." He went on to say they're deeply grateful for the support and the dedication shown by the search teams and our communities throughout this difficult time. Now, as the sheriff just mentioned, this tragic update brings closure to the community, who has been very involved in the search effort for the past 11 days now. And Shelby Slaughter, who's on the scene, is set to speak with the diver coming up in just a few minutes. She'll bring us that story tonight at 5 o'clock, if not before. We'll have that for you.
Here's more on the timeline. Dane was last seen on the afternoon of March 1st in his yard. The next day, we learned the sheriff's office was searching. The search effort grew over the next several days. On March 4th, the sheriff's office said searchers were focused on the river. On March 8th, this past Saturday, the sheriff's office reported they had covered about 14 miles of the river. Yesterday, they dispelled rumors of a white van being potentially involved. Today, we sadly learned that diver found the boy's body in the river. Returning to our breaking news, today a diver discovered the body of 2-year-old Dane Paulsen in the Siletz River. The boy was missing since March 1st. The diver found the toddler's body about 3 miles downstream from his home.
K2 Shelby Slaughter has been covering this story since the beginning. She's live in Siletz now. And Shelby, you're there right now with that diver?
Yes, that's exactly right, Steve. I have the man of the hour, Juan Heredia, who actually found little baby Dane Paulsen just a few hours ago. And Juan, you actually drove down where you drove up from Stockton.
That's correct, 12 hours.
What compelled you to do that?
The people start tagging me about this case, and they really opened something myself that is, I needed closure to come and help the family. So that's how I do it.
And Juan, we know that you found Dane in a place that was already covered by divers. What compelled you to look there again?
Well, first of all, I got to start where we assume he went in the water, and I don't stop until I found a person. I don't know how many miles. Today I covered 2.5 miles. I don't know where the other divers were searching for, but that's my point to entry, and I covered the whole shore.
Thank you, Juan, and so many people here are grateful for the work that you did. And you can see here he is already wearing a ribbon that represents little baby Dane. The family is having a vigil right now to my right, and we're going to have more with Juan coming up here later this evening. Reporting live in Siletz, I'm Shelby Slaughter, K2 News.
Such a tragic ending out there. Shelby, thank you for that interview tonight and that report. This, of course, is a breaking news story.
Let me say that again. Y'all understand how short 100 feet is? 100 feet from the river. This is a 2-year-old baby. And I want you guys to remember that the first person who came out and said this, and I noticed people followed suit a few days after, I was one of the first people that said, I want to hear the parents do an interview. Why do I want to hear the parents do an interview? I'm not being callous. Let me turn the mic down. I'm not trying to be callous towards the parents, but I just think in situations like this, as a parent, as a father, my kids are both about to be 18 here this year. And I think about all this time that I've raised my kids, especially little bitty kids. You don't take your eyes off of 2-year-olds, not 1-year-olds, not 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, all the way up to 10 years old. I don't take my eyes off my kid, even as a teenager, right? If you're in my care, you're with me, I got eyes on you and I know what you're at. And you guys, and I would love to have my daughter here with me right now, but she's in school. So school season, she's with her mom, right? But you could ask her and she will tell you when she's with me, I'm always asking, hey, and I'll call her by her name. Yeah, I just want to make sure you're good. Even when she's not in sight, inside of my house, I'm making sure and checking on my baby. Do you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from? I'm not blaming the parents necessarily for doing something to him. What I'm saying is there's a very real possibility that as a 2-year-old, he got exploratory, walked off, got in the water, and had an accident. That is why you watch 2-year-old babies. So yes, I'm going to indict the parents by saying you should have kept your eyes on your kids. Therefore, you should be charged. You should be interviewed. You should have came out and said something. But if you notice, when parents really care, they come out and say something. They're on the front lines and telling the news outlets, doing interviews and saying, please help us find our kid. I didn't see that. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed that press release. Maybe they suppressed it. Maybe YouTube took it down and said that it wasn't suitable for advertisers. I don't know. Right? But I just think that's quite a bit strange. Even the FBI joined the investigation and search efforts on the third day, along with hundreds of volunteers from across the Pacific Northwest. Authorities kept the search effort focused on the river, deploying underwater search methods and using boats to cover approximately 14 miles of the river. That's a long distance. Now, since early March, the sheriff's office said that there is no evidence of criminal activity in Dane's disappearance. The criminal activity would be the neglect. That's where I think the charges should be. Now, authorities initially identified the late 1990 station wagon that was seen in the area as a vehicle of interest, but then they determined that it was irrelevant to the investigation, and now I think we've come to find out that's what the case is. So you guys can see this on my screen. Beautiful, handsome young man, and I wish his parents cared about him. I'll say that again. I'm not trying to be inflammatory, but I'm trying to be informatory, if that's even a word, towards the parents and all parents. Not speaking just to them. I'm speaking much further than just these parents. Guys, we have got to do better by our kids. This is flat out pitiful parenting, neglect, and I don't know how you even excuse the fact that you don't know how a 2-year-old got out of your sight. I don't know how you excuse that. To this baby, I wish he had more alert, more aware, more loving parents to keep an eye on him at all times. To Dane Paulsen, young prince, R.I.P. If we are going to do any updates on this story, we'll make sure and let you guys know, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay? Thank you.